Yes, in March.
Yeah, well, I guess I was like, why didn't they just give it back to me? And they're like, because you can't drive it like that. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Minor detail.
Yeah. So anyway. Yes, it is March 1st. I'm going to say it over and over and over again. Right? It is the beginning of March, and it went so quickly, didn't it? Last night I was driving home at 6 o'clock. It was still light out, which I thought was awesome. When I woke up this morning, it was beginning to get light out. So I was like, this is what I like. This, I do appreciate that. Huh? Beautiful sunrise. Yep. So it was great. So we do have great things to be thankful for sure. All right, let me go over here.
Wow.
So don't wish it were easier. I know everybody's wishing for a different market.
It's late, right?
Right, everybody's wishing for a different market these days. They want it to be back to the last 3 years, right? And in 3 years, you guys were complaining because of there was a challenge, right? There's always going to be a challenge. There's always going to be something you have to adapt to in the market. So don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems. Wish for more skills. Don't wish for less challenge. Wish for more wisdom, right? Always wish for something more positive than what we have. So
Think about how much money we paid at the last market correction.
yeah. The question is, right, and we talk about this because someone said this to me who's in real estate. They said, but did they put money away? That's where the problem is, right? Did they put money away? So I find it very interesting talking to a lot of agents on a daily basis. I honestly say to people all the time, I am so passionate about real estate. I love real estate. I love everything about real estate. It's the honest truth, right? I really, truly love real estate. But I'm surprised at how many people don't invest in real estate that are in real estate. That truly, truly surprises me. That truly, truly surprises me. Like when I talk to Savannah, I'm like, oh, if something comes up in Morristown and it's a wash, I would buy it now, rent it out, and then move there eventually. Like I'm always thinking about my next move, and it always has real estate in it. It's everything I like to do about real estate. I will go to the food store and haggle with myself in my mind over paying $250 for something or $279. I will haggle myself. I'll take this one. I'm not going to do the brand name. I'll take the ShopRite brand for $250 versus I will haggle. But when it comes to real estate, it's just like, oh, okay, so this we can do. We'll figure it out. We'll figure out how to do it on a much larger scale. It's so funny how our brains work, right? And what we do. So anyway, I don't know where that came in. So anyway, this week on Sunday, I put this checklist in, and on Monday morning, I had a nice group of agents, even from Randolph, on my morning call. And I said to everybody, who read my email yesterday? And nobody responded. It was crickets. Okay. So I'm going to put it back in here because I want to make sure. And I did not write this. I'll be honest with you. Because the one thing I am is honest. Bill Scavone wrote it to the managers, and I just sort of edited it. Hi. So many benefits from something as simple as a checklist. We need to be fanatical right now to create more opportunities, fanatical about prospecting and fanatical about follow-up. Be on top of it all day long. We need a relentless focus on listings. Everyone should be fanatical on doing activities every day to obtain listings. You need to be generating listing appointments and converting appointments into signed listings. Use our customized listing portfolio. We will win more listings. And by the way, they're redoing the listing portfolio and the buyer's consultation, updating it to something more relevant and more simple and more classic. So that should be out in a few more weeks. And we will win more listings and get a higher commission by showcasing our value. Stand out, be unique. This should be everyone's #1 focus. When we list a home, all kinds of amazing things happen, and even more opportunities will literally mushroom from each side in each yard. Hold the inventory, hold the inventory, hold the inventory. Listings are gold, meaning don't put it on Friday and do an open house on Sunday and then highest and best by Tuesday. Right? Because you don't give yourself any time to take advantage of the marketing that we used to take advantage of prior to COVID, right? Put it on Monday as a coming soon. Get the calls in, the opportunities in from I didn't know what's coming in. Get the opportunity. Where are you guys going?
Car obsession.
I was like, where is everybody going? No, go through there. Go through there. Oh. But they looked like they knew where they were going. That was what, because they were just like, shh. So anyway, so put it on Monday. Or put it on Monday, put it on a coming soon, right? When you put it on coming soon, I shared this with you a few weeks ago. Zillow only has you on their website because it can't be shown. So you will get the opportunities from Zillow. Put it on till Thursday and then put it live so that you can market it for the weekend, right? Start letting people take advantage of scheduling appointments from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So take advantage of it. Do an open house Saturday and Sunday now, Thursday night. So two things I mentioned last week. An exclusive open house for the neighbors on a Thursday night. So you put it on Thursday morning, do an exclusive open for the neighbors only. And obviously anybody can come in. You're not going to stop anybody from coming in, right? But you're going to market it to neighbors, put something in their mailbox, mail something out to them. And then Friday, which I think is a great idea, is to do door hanging. So this week, on Sunday, did everybody see that an agent, Nicole Banker, did an open house in Denville? I think it was 6 Whitman Ave. It was $549. It almost looked like from the outside, and this isn't anything, I'm not saying this in a negative way, it looked like the Brady Bunch house. It literally had that sort of curve, and it was red, and had the modern windows and all that. And she had on Facebook, she posted, someone took a video, and she had over 100 families there. There was a line coming from the door all the way down the driveway, okay? So I don't know how many offers she ended up getting, but the next morning when people were telling me about it, I said, let me go on Facebook and look for it. So I did, I looked it up. And what I saw was that day, on Monday morning, she took a video of she just went to Starbucks. She got about 20 gift cards. She said, I'm heading to she was talking about her open house. She said, I'm heading to the neighborhood now, and I'm going to hand these out to the neighbors to thank them for the inconvenience that they had on Sunday. And I'm like, that is freaking brilliant. So that's the kind of things you have to do when you get a listing. You got to do more than just put it on the market, put it on GSMLS, have an open house on Sunday, and then hold highest and best, right? You have to do a little bit more because you want to get those opportunities. So control. So we work hard for them, keep control, market in-house. We have a ton of qualified buyers, more opportunities will be created. So another thing that Joe said, and I know not everybody here is a fan of Joe. I think I'm taping this, but he does say some things that make sense. And one thing he said, which I thought was really great, was when you sell to another person, right? And now obviously if you're not gonna take a discounted offer from a Weichert agent, right? Everything has to be fair. But if you're giving opportunities, if you sell to Coldwell Banker, next time that house goes up in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, it's not a Coldwell Banker house, right? You don't get the opportunity, the first the first show. So there is a lot to trying to get, if you have people in houses to sell it to. Open houses generate more listings. You need to see the open houses as a listing lead generator and do them the Weichert way. View this event as time to meet the neighbors, pick up listings and buyer leads, and set listing and showing appointments during the open houses. Open houses are the best marketing plan for an associate to increase their listings and buyer inventory, as well as showcase themselves as a market expert, right? Because once you're in that neighborhood, people assume that that's the neighborhood that you're servicing. Because I moved, Lanny. Okay, meet the neighbors for referrals and future business. Intentionally calling and meeting the neighbors and other homeowners in the subdivision or street is a great way to generate 5 to 6 more listings. And they need to buy a home too, don't forget. Each lead is like 2 sales. Providing a quick phone call, email, personal door knocking, or canvassing the neighborhood will result in several transactions and over 100,000 in commissions. You just do it. Direct mail, postcards, door hangers, and equity reports. When talking with neighbors, offer a free price opinion of their home, invite them to the open house, ask them to bring a friend so they could pick their neighbor. This works. Sales associates who do this light work to make this happen have the most productive sales week and fill their pipeline with more leads and their calendars with more appointments, and end up listing and selling more and ultimately doubling their income. We all know when you drive down the street, there's usually more than one house for sale. Isn't that correct? One house goes up and then another house goes up. So that's why you want to take advantage of that. Market around our listings and opens and market brand X's as well. You can do that. Invite the neighbors to an exclusive open house on a Thursday evening. It works. So more listings equals more buyers equals more business. And that's what we're all looking for this year. So business is all about solving people's problems at a profit, right? Every day we are just, if we were to look at a dictionary under real estate agent, it should say problem solver. Because that's what we do all day. We're just solving problems for our clients, for our agents, for everybody, right? So that's what we do on a daily basis. And it's not easy. It's not easy solving people's problems because you have to think outside the box and make everybody happy. So our agenda today, we're going to go into tips to get neighbors to follow the neighborhood seller. Okay, meaning someone sells and someone else is always thinking about selling. January office awards, all under one roof partner. I do have Jamie in there right between January office awards and February. I had put January on everything yesterday for February. I wanted it for February, but I put January on it. I'm still a month behind. Office updates, our training schedule, and then our new listings. So Ignite FOMO. You know what FOMO is? Everybody knows what FOMO is? Fear of missing out, right? So you want the neighbors in a neighborhood, when someone puts their house in the market, to understand what's going on and where this market is. So tips to get neighbors to follow their neighborhood seller. Understanding circle prospecting. So circle prospecting around a new listing is a common strategy used by real estate agents to generate interest and leads for a property that has just been listed for sale. It is also an effective way to generate more listings in the neighborhood. So here's how it works. Identify the target area and hot new listing. The easiest way to identify the best new listing is to use the listing tab in My Wiker. So this tool lists all newly listed properties in chronological order. So I'll share with you what that is. It's very easy to use. Develop a database of potential contacts. So head to Call Realty and map out the neighborhood list. Call right from the list. Don't overcomplicate this step. So you have Call Realty, maybe, and you have Remind, okay? So I showed you how to use Remind yesterday and do the circle prospecting around and have all of the homes next to it. So you have two different ways now to access homeowners' phone numbers, because that was always the challenge, right? It would always be like, okay, I want to call this neighborhood, but I don't know how to get the people's phone number, right? So now we have two great ways to get neighborhood numbers, and they're very easy. Craft a script or a message and reach out. So here we go. I'm going to have you pass ones out this way, and you pass it out this way. The king has to do something, yeah. He has to earn his way here. So once the database list is established, craft a script or message to communicate with potential contacts. This could include a phone script, a direct mail piece, door knocking, or an email message. And this message should highlight the features and benefits of the new listing and include a call to action that encourages potential contacts to get in touch with you. Okay, so this is the power up script that I'm handing to you. So I'm going to show you real quickly what they're talking about. So I go into KV Core, right? And I go into listings here. I can go into company listings, right? So if I click company listings, scripts. They might. Eric, is there any more scripts?
Oh, yeah.
So right here, you see these are the listings in chronological order. So the most recent one is one that Kevin Gaffney has in 7 Woodland Way. It's a rental in Mount Arlington. Okay. Then you see 37 Hill Street, the Michael Elms put in, Gloria LaForgia, right? Rich Kafaf. So here you see all of our listings. Here's one in Monroe. So these are company listings, Weichert company listings. So for instance, we're just going to use, we'll use Michael Elms. If you want to call around this property, if you click on here, now you have the information in front of you of the property, right? So it's easy for you now to call around a neighborhood because then you have all the information in front of you, right? So you have the gallery map. To go a little bit,
What did you click on? Did you get there?
My listings. See listings here, company listings, and then I just chose one of the company listings, whichever one I wanted to market around. So I'm saying I want to market around Morristown. So when you click on here, there's a few things that you can do, which I did not realize. Okay, you have a gallery of photos that are in here, right? So you can look at all the MLS listings and get an idea. Did you not put listing? Are there photos in here? Oh, maybe they didn't populate yet. Wait, revert to MLS images. I'm not going to do that now. Okay, there we go. I wasn't on MLS listings for some reason. There we go. Here's all the pictures. Okay, So here's all the photos, there's a floor plan. So now if I'm talking to someone, at least I have information about the house. Map. Okay, this is also very interesting because what you'd want to do here is you want to go to satellite. Well, go to satellite and then bring yourself as close as you can to the property. Okay, because maybe now you can see, maybe you want to know where the train station is in reference to this so you can tell somebody, right? You want to be able to be, have the information right in front of you without having to drive around possibly because you're just making phone calls. So this is an easy way for you to look around the neighborhood and see exactly where this property is located, what's around it. So you're able to be, again, more fluent when you're talking to people. Similar listings. Oh, this doesn't work for you? We have other listings that come up, okay? You go right by there, nearby listings. So again, everything is right here. I feel like it's easier to use than going on the MLS, right? So here's other listings that we're on, how many miles away, what they rented or sold for.
These are just what you're listing.
Not the nearby listings, not the nearby list. The ones that we're on right now are just Weichert listings, correct? And then matching buyers. So I can go in here and see. Now, obviously, I don't have a database of buyers in my thing, or I do, or maybe these are some of yours. So these are all people. These are all people that are in that price range or in a looking in Morristown, right? So these are all the matching buyers. So you can send them. You can view them in a CRM. So here it would be your matching buyers. It would not, I might have everybody's just because I'm on the corporate headquarter thing, which would make sense, but you guys would see any of your matching buyers that you can send this listing to. So again, another tool that we have that takes very little time to get information from that would make a great tool to make phone calls from, okay? If you want to prospect around a neighborhood, whether it's your listing or another listing. And you can do the same thing with brand X listings. So if a brand X listing comes up in your neighborhood and you want to call around your neighborhood or whatever neighborhood you're farming, you can do that. You're just saying, I'm just calling about a new listing that came on. You're not saying I listed a new home, right? It's about what you say. Again, it's also about the perception. So again, going to listings, you can go into all MLS listings here, just your listings, the company listings, and then any manual listings that anybody put in. So this is how you access it right here on the board, on the side. And once you click on the listing you're interested in, then you can go into all these little buttons and you could do whatever it is that you need to do, making phone calls, get the information you want, send a mass email to your clients, send a direct link to somebody, right, in an email. So you have a lot of different options here for this property.
Quick question.
Sure.
Company listings, are they updated or are they old? You know, like,
No, these are as they're listed. So if you look here,
they were
Nancy,
removed as well when. You know,
It's-
people would do it themselves and they didn't take it off.
no, these are populated through the MLS. These are not manually inputted.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
So that was like the exclusives where we had the
Right,
problem
right,
for a
that's
while
right,
because
right.
people, it was the responsibility of the agent to add it and take it off and no one did. So like I said, as you can see here, you can go by listing date. So these are all the ones that were just listed and more came on since we went on. See here.
Yeah.
Is that just company wide or is that?
So you're on My Weichert.
Yeah.
And then you go on to listings and you go on to company listings. So these are company-wide listings.
Oh, okay.
In chronological order of when they were listed, starting from today's date going backwards, okay?
Like that price range, this also pulling the GSMLS listing? Not
It's
just my-
GSMLS listings. From the, yes, you have an option.
Okay.
All MLS listings,
Okay,
my listings, company listings, or manual
I
listings.
can't see it in front of.
Yeah. Yeah, no worries. So that's this listing file right here.
Yeah.
Okay?
Thank you.
So you have all of that. So that's a way to go in and just get more information. Anybody have any other questions in regards to that? So here's some dialogue. Do they know anyone moving to the neighborhood who you can help? What do they think of the price? Have they thought about selling? An offer for a monthly customized home valuation report, right? That you can send them to keep up what's going on in the market in their neighborhood or in their town. So you have to change your mindset. The market isn't what has changed the most. The way realtors need to communicate with prospects has changed. Information presented with a proactive point of view and value-added methodology is a key in today's market, and that is so true. It's all what's going on in our heads is how we present it. So number 4, add interested parties to your database to nurture for future business. So here they have put together a checklist, which is something I think everybody desperately was looking for when you're putting your leads in, what the next step is, okay? So depending on how you're, where you're putting your leads in, at what status, what the next steps are, what you need to be doing. So, that's our standard operating procedure, and then repeat the prospect, circle prospect around a new listing. It's a continuous process. You don't do it once and then you're done. And you say, I didn't get anything and I'm done. You have to do it weekly, in order to be successful. Okay, and stay in touch with people. Anybody have any questions in regards to that? So you can click on this link here. And you could get a video with Christina Weiner, sharing what I just shared, probably more professionally and better. And then here's the standard operating procedures that I just handed out to you. And there's the script that I handed out to you earlier. So everything is on here for you guys if you need to. You just have to open my slides and then go through them again. Or just call me at 9 o'clock on a Saturday night, say, where was that slip that where was that thing that you told me I needed?
There more stuff like this in somewhere
Meaning,
other.
Within this website that we can just go in and look at these tips, right?
oh yes, so yes, I'm gonna share with you where that is. Yes, thank you. That's coming later. Yes, where you can get every weekly tip that I've been sending you is right on Wicker University. It's right there in black and yellow, just like this. You can go into all of them. All the resources are there that I'm sharing with you. Everything is there. And I'll show you how to access that. So February, I did put February here. Office awards. Yeah. I did realize it was February at one point. It was like 5 o'clock yesterday. I was like, wait a minute, why do I have January everywhere? So our top producers for teams for this month. I got the curtains back. Congrats, the Elms team. That was a great one. $4 million in February. And what's that, January again? The lead team and Carlos and Patty Tam. So congratulations, guys. Top producers for dollar volume. Look how cute I did everything. I think that's really sweet. Thank you. And look at that little face. So congratulations to our top producers, Cheryl Towie with 1.3 million. Steve Puzio just joined us, but he came from Keller Williams. So Neil helped him get his first deal under contract as we were getting the paperwork, shipped it over. And Nancy Cassidy, congratulations. And then for listings this month, Cheryl, I believe, had 3 listings. For top listing, Lori Kaplan and Mara Glauberg. So congratulations. Mara's, most of them are exclusive. If you're wondering, like, where are the listings? Where are they? Lori has one of them exclusive. So, yeah. If you're wondering where they are, they're not on yet. Even though I did pass, I was driving home yesterday down a Speedwell and I saw Mara sign up on a house in Morris Plains at Speedwell. You haven't seen it? Yeah, I was just like, whoa.
So
Because it was light out still, but I drove home at 6 so I could see. Maybe it was there for other days and it was dark out. Yep. In GSMLS, yes. And then sales for the month, teams, Michael Elms, group, team. The lead team and Carlos and Patty. So congrats again. Sales for individual agents. Cheryl, just over $1 million. Stephen Puzo and Jennifer Fox. Jennifer has little ones at home too. Her and Christina McCarthy should be best friends. Really, really. They have the best personalities and they both had their last baby at the same time. And I think it was a surprise for both. And they both live in Denville. And then Jamie. So congratulations, everybody, for February. It has been a challenging month, especially to get the momentum going, up and going again. So thank you guys for doing such a great job.
thank you. Thank you.
Everybody knows Jamie McMahon.
Thank you.
I think what I'll touch upon today, because I spoke to some realtors about it last week, was of the common verbiage that I'm seeing in paragraph 43 of the contract with additional contractual provisions. Specifically with respect to home inspection limitations and appraisal waivers. So with respect to the inspection limitations, what I see a lot now, it'll say buyer will only raise issues such as structural, mechanical, environmental, and safety. And I know, and you know, a lot of times I'll say, well, I'm worried as the attorney, I don't want the buyer to waive their rights. And I mean, I get it. I know the market we're in, and a lot of the agents say to me, you know, separately, they'll say like, Jimmy, you know, we have to put it in there. They insist on it as is, the whole thing with that. So what I say to them is, first of all, don't worry about the as is verbiage. As is has no legal weight in New Jersey unless a buyer is specifically waiving the inspection contingency in its entirety. All as is really means is I, as am the seller, am disinclined to address any inspection issues that arise. And I dissuade my sellers from saying that because I say, listen, by doing that, you might be shooting yourself in the foot. Like, what if there's only 3 issues and they're not that major and you'd rather address them than lose the buyer? Or what if there is like a really major issue? It's going to come up with the next buyer anyway. So wouldn't you rather know about it now and be proactive? So I really don't like the as is language. As a seller's attorney, I try to tell them not to use it. As a buyer's attorney, unless the buyer's waiving their rights, as is, again, it really means nothing. It just means I'm not going to address anything. You know, do your inspections and raise your issues or walk away. Now, in terms of the inspection limitations, I always say, first of all, try to leave the word major out because I find major to be just too, you know, subjective, and adjectives not really helping us here, because what's major, what's not major, we can all have a million different opinions on it. And same thing with a monetary limit. You know, when you say, every time I've had a deal where they say buyer will waive the first $5,000 of issues that arise. Every time the buyer sent their letter and the seller says, well, this is great, I can ignore the first $5,000 on this list. And the buyer always says, no, there was $5,000 of issues before I even came up with this list. So then everyone's at odds anyway, and they're upset. And, you know, we can all get an estimate for, you know, 4,900 or 5,100 or whatever the case may be. I mean, it's also subjective, you know, based on, you know, the contractor and what the scope of the work is and what people think the scope of the work is. So I try to leave the word major out, leave out the monetary numbers. So just put in, you know, mechanical, safety, structural, environmental. Does it cover mold? Yes. Does it cover radon? Yes. Does it cover if there's, you know, issues with the leak in its roofing, some the issues with the roof and it's leaking? I'm sorry. Yes, obviously it's going to cover that. Again, as I say with the same thing with agent but functioning systems, in a situation like this is where a home warranty can be really useful because that can cover a lot of other items and concerns that a buyer may have that a seller doesn't want to look at this market, and rightfully so. So something like a home warranty can be a really, really good compromise for something like this. If it's any sort of planned unit development, not a lake community, but a condo or a townhouse, always find out what is the association responsible for, because sometimes there's things that they'll address that we're not aware right away they'll address, and that can also solve some of the issues or problems that arise. Does anyone have anything they want to add or ask me about the inspection contingency? Yes.
Are you finding many of the sellers are paying for the warranty? Like, remember, you could have the seller pay the warranty or the buyer or split, what have you?
I am, and I'm finding it even in it's listed in the MLS, the homeowner's warranty. I have a few right now that are being sold by estates or trusts where I represent the seller, and they're putting it right in the MLS. They're giving the warranty right up front, and it's part of their way of saying very nicely, don't bother us on inspection. So give us a price and we're not going to do anything. I mean, the buyer still has their inspection right. What? Yeah, exactly. We're giving you the warranty. So yes, I am finding that the sellers are paying for them. And I've had plenty of times over the years where the sellers won't pay for them. And I'll say to my buyer, if you really want the house, it's definitely worth it. It's absolutely worth it for your own, for your own peace of mind. If you want to purchase the warranty, and just with all the unknown and the uncertainties of the first year you're moving in, you don't realize you need X, Y, and Z like every homeowner. At least you have the warranty and you have the peace of mind. When I moved in my house in Denville, 3 days after I moved in, the dishwasher broke, and I had bought the house from Carter's Relocation, and I had the warranty, and I called, $95 deductible. They came and they fixed the dishwasher, and so it's really helpful. Meanwhile, years later, I don't usually tell people this, the oven broke and I went a whole year before fixing it because I don't cook much, but I can't. I used my toaster oven for a year.
Those poor kids, man.
How was
Oh my
how was
goodness.
Thanksgiving at your house?
It was very little chickens. Yeah, capons. Yeah, my grandmother used to get them from the kosher butcher, the capons, yeah. But no, the warranty is really good. It can really work in a lot of situations. So I am seeing a lot of sellers offering that. Does anyone else have a question on it?
And that's also a good benefit or value add if you have multiple offer situations for a buyer to add in a home warranty. Say, listen, my client's willing to pay for the home warranty to cover you, Mr. and Mrs. Seller,
Yeah.
until you close, and then they'll have it afterwards. So when then you're bringing up limited home inspection issues now, at least they feel more comfortable about that you're not gonna change your mind either. So,
Another way it comes in handy too is if it's cold like this and you can't test the air conditioning or something like that, because I will not close with escrows on seasonal items because it comes back to haunt you, because next thing you know, there's problems with it. The seller said, well, I didn't have these problems. The problems must have developed after closing. The buyer wants the escrow money. The seller doesn't want to release it. Then you're in a fight months after closing. So something like that, the heat in the summer or the air conditioning in winter, home warranties, like a really relatively affordable and a practical compromise for both parties.
that's a great idea.
So what I want to say about the appraisal contingency is this: everyone, puts the verbiage in that buyer will cover the first $5,000 of an under appraisal, something like this, or buyer will cover the first 10,000. So let me just give you an example. If the buyer makes their offer at $500,000 and they say they'll cover the first $10,000 of an under appraisal, I think we can all agree that means that if the house appraises at 490 or above, the buyer is going to proceed at the contract price of 500,000. However, I'm finding it needs to be clarified on the other end, because what if the house appraisal comes in at 460? Is the buyer willing to pay 470, and is the seller willing to accept 470? Like, probably not. So I feel like you have to cover, and it can be done in attorney review, but I just want to make you aware of it. It's something that has to be covered on both ends. I feel like you have to have a threshold on the appraisal also, because there has to be a number under which the parties may not agree, and you have to give them the ultimate right to cancel the contract if there can't be a new meeting in the minds as to the price. Another thing I'm seeing, because so many people are paying over the list price right now, I have one that's listed at 379 and the contract came in at 410. I represent the seller. So the appraisal verbiage is the appraisal just has to come in at the list price. So as long as it's at 379 or over, we will proceed at 410. If it's under that, the parties reserve the right to renegotiate the price. Always keeping in mind that if the seller doesn't want to come down on the price, the buyer always should have their right reserved to still proceed with the contract price. So even if there's a massive under appraisal and the buyer still wants that property, the contract price, and they're still financially able to proceed after consulting with their lender, they should still always have the right to proceed at the price if they're willing to accept the under appraisal.
Great information.
So can you talk more about the over appraisal? Is that what you were saying before? Like if it appraises over past the price, the sales price? Is that what?
No, it's never,
Is that
if you're selling it at 500 and you're the buyer and your appraisal comes in at 525, you keep that very secret and you don't say anything and you pay 500 gladly and sell. Yeah, then
Zip
you're
your
never-
lips, people. You zip your lips.
Yeah,
So say we agreed on 500,
yes,
but it comes in at 475.
correct,
Have you ever seen the meet in the middle?
absolutely.
And the mortgage company doing the other half?
Well, it just depends. It depends, first of all, how much of a mortgage is the buyer taking?
Yeah, how
If
much
the
money they're
buyer,
putting down.
if the buyer was going to mortgage, 100% VA, I mean, that's a different question than if they're putting down 30% and they're taking a conventional for 70%. So it just depends if they're able and they're financially able to do so with the money they have and their lender, and the seller's willing to come down a bit as opposed to not wanting to go back on the market, and it depends on the seller. If they're under contract to buy something in South Carolina and they really need to close and they want to go, as opposed to not being in a rush, if they're already out of the house or they're having moving plans, then they may want to go back on the market and see if they can get someone higher.
Are you finding for free?
It's hard for them to consider.
I am finding things under appraising, but not as much as I thought that they would have. And I'm not seeing as many deals die due to the appraisals because of the buyers still willing to see the price. So I am not seeing a massive lot of under appraisals. The biggest problem that I'm seeing these days are the inspection issues. Sometimes you just have both parties digging their side in and they go on. And it's the day before closing and you have to push the closing out because you still haven't resolved the inspection issues, but the buyer has a rate lock. So that's the biggest problem I'm seeing is timing. And I'm also seeing problems where when the buyer makes inspection requests and the seller's willing to do them, the sellers still, they're at the mercy of their contractors. If they have to pull a permit, they're at the mercy of the municipality. Sometimes the inspector only works Tuesday and Thursday from 4 PM to 7 PM. And then the buyer wants to close, but you have to wait for those to be done unless they're willing to close without it done. So I'm finding timing to be very tricky right now. That's the biggest.
And that's why it's important to let your clients know when you're asking them their preferred closing day, it should be a preferred closing day. And this is a target day. It is not set in stone, because what happens when they come to that date, they are so mad at you, right? And you have nothing to do with it, but they're so mad at you that they didn't close on that day because of all these things that you just mentioned that are part of the process of buying a home. So, yes, so you just have to let them know, this is a target date. It's not set in stone. Everybody's gonna try to beat this, but there's so many parties that have to do that. And I just want you to know that, because I think we forget about these little things to tell them. Or we tell them in the middle of the transaction when they're fully emotional and they don't hear a word we're saying. So that's why buyers consultations and having these conversations ahead of time, when they're thinking logically, makes a lot more sense for you to get them through the transaction better.
I want to say one more thing about that. I put it in writing too, in my retainer letter from the beginning, that it is only a targeted date. So as a general rule in New Jersey, either party can delay up to 2 weeks without penalty. Now, that doesn't take into account if you have a lender still clearing conditions. That doesn't take into account if you have a title issue and you have a prior owner mortgage that you're trying to discharge. Or you have someone in title where they have to sign off on a marital right and that wasn't done at the time of the last closing. Or if there's inspection issues that still have to be resolved. So what I do is I tell everyone up front, it's a targeted date only. So when I have sellers that call me for the first time, I have their contract and they're like, our contract closing date is April 30th. This is great. Just got the contract. I'm booking my movers for April 29th. We're not doing it that way because there's going to be a really big problem down the line when it comes to April 28th and we're not ready. We still have to get the attorney review. We still have to resolve the inspection contingency. Your buyer still has to get a mortgage with your conditions. So there's so many things that go between signing the contract and getting to closing. They have to know, they may not like the information, but it's very important to convey it. And I say, all the time, anyone that I speak to, we all can work as hard as we want to make these transactions go smoothly, but we are real estate professionals. We are not magicians. There is so many factors that go into this. You cannot guarantee a smooth closing. You cannot guarantee closing on time. And some of them do. I have a purchase closing today. It's Tara Epsky's, March 1st, done, closing date, we're closing, but it doesn't always happen. So people have to be prepared. It's a lot better to tell them up front, as opposed to when they have the movers booked and they've already shut off all the utilities and then they have to call, all the utility companies and movers and they're completely flipping out. So
That's true. But Jimmy, on the flip side, now I have sellers who are buying new construction and I counseled them from the beginning. Please don't believe what they say. Have a plan B ready, and you've already strung these buyers out 2 months because you weren't ready to close. And Lennar is telling them April 1st, well.
yeah, well, that's the problem.
You say, oh, we'll just move it to the 30th.
That's the
No.
problem with new construction too, because a lot of the new construction contracts have a delay clause where they can delay without penalty. Sometimes it's 180 days in there. So they have, half a year where they can delay this. So it's very hard. And I have had a lot of buyers where part of the way down to closing on new construction, they change their mind and they want to pull out and, they don't have that right unilaterally because they're tired of waiting. So absolutely, it's very frustrating.
They're all saying, they'll tell you whatever you want to hear, but boy.
Absolutely. Or on the other side, you have the smaller builders. So they're not even as accountable as the larger companies. And then I had one, we almost got to closing and the builder didn't realize he had to get the new home warranty from the state. And then that delayed us another 20 days or so. So yeah, new construction is very challenging. Absolutely. Absolutely.
For sure.
What is the penalty? Just curious, like between 2 weeks or 180 days, like what's the penalty?
Okay, so there are two different things, because on new construction, usually the builder's contracts will say they forfeit their deposit if the buyer refuses to close. The seller has leniency, and so there's really nothing the buyer can do. The seller puts that leniency into the contract. On a regular contract, if you come to the closing date and the contingencies are satisfied and one of the parties are not ready to close, the other party can serve them a time of the essence, which basically says, I'm giving you 10 to 14
Right.
days. I'm making this a firm date. Now, in practical terms, it's not a huge thing. The time of the essence date comes, all it really does is give that party that served it the right to sue.
Right.
Which no one
Okay.
wants, because they're gonna lose time and they're gonna lose money.
Gotcha.
But really, it just serves as kind of like a firecracker to put under the other party. It's still the best thing to try to say, listen, you're not ready on this date. What date can we make work? Because everyone wants to get to the closing table. So, thank you.
Jamie's amazing. We have a lot of commonalities, which are, we're both professional women. We both love to run. We both love our families,
We both have our
but
hair.
we both love our hair, yeah.
Yeah.
But one thing we don't have in common, which I realized today, is I went home last night at 6:10, cooked a full dinner for my family, cleaned out the dishwasher because they put it on right before I come home because they know I can't stand it. Did a lot of wash, finished my office slide, so
Yeah.
I need to be more there.
I'm really good at laundry and cleaning, but cooking is not, my sister in Randolph got all the cooking. She- not me.
That's what my sisters would say. That's what my sisters would say.
Excellent at DoorDash. I can work that out. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. That was awesome. That was really great information. Anthony? Your mom had some great words to say about you last week, but he won't, but I'm not allowed to tell you.
Nice.
Keep in mind too as well, on what Jeannie was saying also regarding like the appraisals and stuff, like as a lender, I'm only gonna go off of it was lower than 2 years. So if it's a $400,000 list price, appraisal comes in at 375, we are basing the terms off the transaction at 375. So then the buyer or seller would have to work out something on that end. That's important though. In regards to, this came up this week, so I asked you to see if there was some slides. We were talking about like FHA loans and conventional loans and stuff like that, with an agent, and we were talking about, appraisals, and we were talking about issues and concerns, more around like government loans and stuff like that. And this will be on the slide, but it's really important to know, and the reason why I wanted to bring this up is I sent a message out like about a week or two ago on some recent changes with FHA, positive ones actually, where they've reduced actually the mortgage insurance premium to make their monthly mortgage payments cheaper for FHA buyers. Same thing with VA, they made an adjustment to as well, funding can be lower, so overall, they're financing less on the loan, so the payment will be cheaper on VA loan as well, but the FHA loan was really impactful. Why I wanted to kind of resurface the FHA loan, because the stigmatism with FHA loans has always been, oh, we have a conventional and FHA loan. I don't want to take an FHA offer because there might be some repairs that need to be done on the property and the seller is not doing repairs and such like that. I think all the more now, again, we're in a market still where there's a lot of offers, again, a lot of cash. The cash offers that we're seeing are not below, they're above, so they're competing head to head with the actual buyers getting loans, right? We're still getting plenty of conventional loans with good down payments, but as maybe the market shifts, whatever that looks like, or if you have a property that's maybe on the market for a little bit, you want to have offers coming in, maybe you get one or two, you may start seeing more and more FHA loans. And the reason why I say that is exactly what I'm talking about, where you might have a conventional buyer right now where you're putting a low down payment option. But traditional FHA loans, especially if people have less than perfect credit, FHA interest rates are typically better than a conventional loan if you have less than perfect credit or score, right? So there's an attractive thing on an FHA loan there. Now with the recent mortgage insurance change, bringing that payment down significantly monthly, the payment on an FHA loan is become more attractive than it would be conventional loan. So where's everybody's heads at? Like, payment, right? So when a lender potentially is reviewing some different options for that buyer, the person might really gravitate much more to that FHA loan. So you may start seeing some more FHA offers, especially with lower down payment buyers, as a better option financially for them. Now, it'd be really good to know upfront whether or not, here, I have 2 pre-approvals for you to send them out. My buyer can qualify for both options. We're gonna go FHA, but if push comes to shove, we can go conventional if we had to. Always a good rule of thumb on those offers would be potentially, again, if we're being aggressive on the deal, and I really like to exercise my right in an FHA loan because I have my benefit, just like the VA buyer, right? The veterans, there's benefits there that they're able to get, but they sometimes aren't able to get those deals put together because they're not putting much down. You can always put notes in the contract, like the buyer will, anything comes up on the FHA appraisal has to be addressed or remedied, we're willing to take that on. So you're pulling that risk from the sellers. I just posed a VA loan not that long ago. That was exactly the verbiage we put in the other contracts and provisions where if anything comes up that affects the VA appraisal, the buyer will assume the repairs. In this specific house, the house was like 13 feet. The buyer had to pay $4,500 in it, and he was able to get that deal in that big situation, putting them down. So there's definitely options that way. But again, just keep that in mind with the FHA stuff. As if you do get any offers, if you're on the listing side, make sure the house is in good condition. We'll get this on the list. The big thing that are always those challenges are like the stains in the ceilings, the loose banisters and railings, the crumbling, maybe brick steps coming in, painted foundations, painted older wood casement windows on the older homes, that flaking paint stuff. Big no, gotta be scraped and cleaned and fixed prior to closing. No seller concession, to add to that. They have to have the appraisal done subject to, it can't be done as is. Yeah.
They can go for commercial, aside from the interest rate.
Yep.
Why would they want to go FHA? It seems like there's so many rules, regulations, and mortgage insurance. And
Right,
that
well,
stuff.
so obviously if we're comparing like a 20% down buyer, right, to a non, the conventional one would be a better option based on everything. But let's say we have a 5% conventional and if you're 5% FHA, 3% down or something, 10%, well, the borrower is getting in mind regardless. That lower mortgage insurance premium on FHA could start to kind of do this or actually have the premium cheaper because you're seeing rates go up a lot right now, obviously the last couple of weeks. The FHA, the government rates are typically an inconsiderable amount lower, even with a lower credit score buyer. Whereas if you have a lower credit score buyer, conventional rates even that much higher, could even come with additional cost and points and stuff like that too as well. So we might start seeing this kind of pendulum kind of shift the other way where the FHA could be $150 cheaper a month for a buyer. And the buyer might say, I'm going to refinance regardless when rates come down, or I'm going to pay 3.5% down. It'll take me 11 years before I build that 20% equity before the mortgage insurance goes away anyway. I might as well take that FHA one off for the next couple of years and I can refinance it out. But it's goes away. So it does, you have to refinance out of the FHA. Everybody's going to refinance anyway in this market as soon as rates come down. So again, that long-term play, like a conventional loan, yeah, if you're at 3.5% rate, putting 15% down, you'd want to ride that out as long as you could. The MI would fall off when you get 20%. But anybody that's taking any loan off, conventional and not right now, there are refinance buyers in the market in 6 months, 2 years, 3 years, whatever that looks like. Assuming it does these things, time is kind of stressing. So
It's a little hard to find perfect house to pass FHA.
depending, right? I mean, there are plenty of houses out there that do, I do all the time. But again, that's where you guys are gonna come in from a listing standpoint, from a buyer side standpoint. But the first thing I ask when I got buyers utilizing government loans, through my eyes, I can only see the photos. Tell me what's going on. What do you see? You guys are all experienced. Even if you're not, you can see, utilizing that list. Oh my God, there's crumbling steps. And those are things that we might have a challenge with. If you might have a buyer that says, hey, listen, you know what? I can fix that. I can money to fix that. If you transfer that risk from the seller and say,
So let's make sure you can't do that, because the first time home buyer, they don't want to have any more debt or anything else to fix, it's like more debt.
well, no, it's not, they're not taking out a loan for that. But let's say they have a contract that they know there'll be $300 to fix a crumbling step. They could say to the seller, I'll fix that. If it comes up on the appraisal, I'm going to fix anything. So it's more that appraisal issue, which is where all the concern comes from a listing agent. Oh God, I really don't want to kind of take that off there because they're confident more the conventional one is not really going to kind of nitpick and stuff, right? So it really just depends. But again, you guys are the eyes when it comes to a house listing or my size and that's what.
Is the PMI retroactive? The rate decrease?
So this is actually going into effect actually a day ago, and all new loans kind of going forward and stuff, so it's not anything that is existing that they can pull out. That's all I mean.
Thank you.
Yes,
Can you refinance an equity loan?
what do you mean?
I don't know.
Well, if you have a first mortgage and you have a second mortgage, you can combine it and make one mortgage.
Okay, so if you have an equity loan, say for $100,000,
Yeah.
you're paying off the equity, but the rate is high.
They're adjustable, aren't they, to begin with? They're,
No,
they
I
fixed?
know, but they
So
They
a lot of banks aren't offering home equity loans anymore, which were typically more of a fixed rate.
you're saying they're not offering?
A lot of banks are not offering home equity loans, which are fixed rate second lien. They're offering still line of credits or home equity line of credits. Even they are getting very, very tough to offer them now. But everybody's kind of nervous about what potentially could happen with value. A lot of people pull back their home equity line programs, or they really concentrate on bringing the qualifications to a much more tougher position that way. But I mean, if you have a loan, you can always refinance that into either another line of credit, or combine the first and second mortgage to give you one fixed rate loan on that end too as well. Because like this, you're saying the line of credits are adjustable rate mortgages. They're fixed for the first 10 years on a home equity line of credit, and then it adjusts thereafter. You could then decide to fix it at that point. Who knows what 10 years.
Then you gotta go through the whole
refinance.
the whole thing again, bringing someone in and all that other.
That's part of refinancing, consolidating debt, doing all the.
An expensive expensive has a flex line, if you have a home equity line, you use it. You can go variable, but within a month, you can convert it to a fixed, and if the rate's something like 3%, you lock it in, but then you have a 10-year, amortization. And that's expensive.
But everybody's got different, options and things as far as, what they're offering. Update of the market, the last strong data was Friday's personal spending report, which was stronger than expected. The company inflation indicator was higher as well. Existing home sales fell for the 12th straight month, rate of measuring economic growth in the fourth quarter. It was revised to a 2.7 to 2.9%, which was still a solid number. However, new home sales were higher with consumers turning to new homes in the absence of existing home inventory. On the rate world, rates continued to push upward in response to solid economic data and higher than expected inflation. Well, this was the first month in the past 7 where we've seen an uptick in inflation. Hopefully, this is not the start of the trend. What's happening this week? The February jobs report will be released will not be released until March 10th. So this will be a solid week for data. We will see pending home sales, construction spending, and a measure of growth within the service sector. So rates have been kind of flat over the last couple of days. But as you can see, these rates are climbing and climbing. Have been. They're 4 point off of what they were about 2 weeks ago. And that's just kind of what we're working with right now. Yes. Things like that, though. That changed when COVID. FHA premium. So just to kind of quick overview of what I was talking about, I'm just going to kind of give you the scenario on it. But FHA is reducing the monthly mortgage insurance premium for the vast majority of borrowers by approximately 35%. The vast majority of FHA borrowers putting down 3.5%, which is the minimum to obtain a 30-year fixed mortgage. The monthly premium on that loan is being reduced from 0.85% to 0.55%. Here's a simple example. So a $400,000 mortgage amount, $283 with the monthly premium. With the new one, it's $183. So it's a quick $100 savings for a buyer, right? Keep in mind, every $5,000 is $25 a month. Buying power. Now a potential buyer just picks up 20 grand and buy it.
So this is starting now.
Yes, not existing clients. And again, it kind of gives you just more of a grid. These are things that I look at all the time on who's affected and how it's affected and stuff like that. So it's different from some certain sectors. Like most of the people thinking of, for example, it's about 3.5%, so it's 30%. This is what I was mentioning too. I sent the CNO the other day as well on the VA, not a significant one. If they have a funding fee, that's the one-time charge that's financed on top of the loan over the next 30 years. It's 2.3%. They've reduced it to 2.15. So on a $400,000 loan, funding fee was $9,200 that the clients on top of that. Let's say it's 100% financing. It makes the loan $4,200,000. And then at that point, the new funding fee is $8,600. So it's a $600 savings, which will just lower the amount financed. Not a huge amount versus the FHA changes, but it is a little early. And there's the correct fee as well. Keep in mind too, as well, as far as pre-approvals and stuff. So this is something that just got rolled out this week. I haven't actually formally sent an email out on it. If you have a buyer ending this month, the next month that we're starting today, if you have a buyer that's pre-approved, Buyers willing to speak to me, got a pre-approval, they will get $50 regardless if they go or not. It's more of a second opinion. Again, if you have a buyer that's pre-approved, right, they already got pre-approved with their existing lender, not me. Getting them to speak to me and I do the pre-approval, we're giving them a $50 gift card. No obligation, no nothing, just another opportunity to get them in front of us to see what we can offer them.
And when did this start? Sweet.
May to end of March, it says.
Yeah.
You know, if they have a big, if you have a lot of people participating, I'm sure they'll extend something like that. If they don't, that's how they judge it. That's why they'll only do it for a short amount of time, right? To see how the agents respond, and if they have a good response, then they'll continue to do that. But then they understand that soft credit pulling does not affect them, so someone, that's all they need to understand. Yeah, and it's not gonna affect them. Yeah.
I'll get you guys a more full email on this, and prior to as well, you guys can provide this to buyers that you guys are showing houses for, or anything along those lines.
I have to fill it in tomorrow, it's not in yet.
That's okay. Question for the week, Dennis, you listening? According to NAR,
I'm here.
asked me, what percentage of all first-time home buyers use FHA financing? Is it A, 3 and 4, 75%, B, 2 and 4, 50%, C, 1 and 4, 25%, and D, 1 and 10, 10%?
C.
C.
I put that very loud, Lanny. We heard you loud and clear. C.
C. Answer C, 20.
Woo!
What's the answer?
C, C.
C?
Of course, you know, yeah, you said the answer.
Okay, thank you.
What would it be in New Jersey? Is it as high as?
That's a national number. I mean, I would probably think it's probably less maybe. I mean, we have plenty of areas where FHA is a very commonplace program.
In New Jersey.
Urban markets and stuff like that, right?
You're not.
No bogus. All right, so office and birthdays and anniversaries for the month of March.
Yeah.
Rich Raz is the 3rd, Carrie Chuck is on the 7th, Stephen Graff is the 8th, Deb Monticello. Another year younger, my friend, another year younger. Michael Elms, Betsy Rodriguez, oh, a lot of March babies, 21.
I see.
With sign.
Oh, wow.
Carlos Cam,
Oh my
Osama. Latifah Robinson, Tamika Carter. So Latifah's actually in Power Up right now. Just to go back a minute, Osama, his wife's mother passed away. So he had to fly to Turkey unexpectedly last night. So just for you guys to know, if you want to send a card or something, just let me know. I'll give you his information. And soon as that back.
Oh my God.
I don't know what happened, but happy anniversary to Joanna Albanese, 24 years. Dennis Cassidy, 12 years. Victoria Beechin, Carlene DiVincenzo, George Tam, he works on the lead team. Lori Kaplan, 12 years. You and Lori said you started a few weeks apart. Dante Pasquale, look at that, same day as Lori. You were. She had to run to a
Yes.
something. I forgot what she is. She ran.
I know.
Howard Ashburn, 19 years. I thought you were 18.
What's
How did
next?
you be here 19 years? Stephen Graff again. And Bev Nichols, 31 years. You look great for 35. She crawled right over to the White Cliff headquarters office. Happy anniversary. So some- No, well, no, actually Karen Crooks. Karen Crooks is the longest in our office, I would say. She's well, she's still active.
Oh, what about
She's still in our office.
Yeah.
She's still active.
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't forget, book your appointments at Heather Jarp. Everybody who has been really, truly, extremely happy. Do it once a week, do it once every 2 weeks. She can get your My Record up and running. She can get everything done for you. Great reviews about Heather and how she's helping agents. So please, please, please take that time. I know she's here on Tuesdays. So if someone wanted face-to-face, they can go in, or she does it remotely the other days. So basically how the regional MTSs work is every morning, Monday through Thursday, they are on doing 3 trainings a morning. And then every afternoon, they're doing coaching and training on the MyWaker. Fridays is their day to have team meetings, regroup, figure out what they're doing for the following week. So that's how they run. So every day besides Tuesday, she's remote because she's here on Tuesdays in her office. And I went to go look for someone the other day, and every Tuesday she's booked for the whole month of March, basically. So hopefully you guys got in there. So make sure when you're making your appointments, book a few in advance.
She has an office?
To the office by Lakewood University,
Oh,
if you want to do face-to-face, yeah. And then this is the weekly training schedule for the week, huh? Yeah, she had a few good ones today. Somebody was telling us. So here, we were talking earlier about the tab on, so if you go into Lakewood University now, this is what you'll see. You'll see the power up. And they did just add a power up nightlight, it's called, for people who wanted an evening power up class. Maybe they can't do it during the day. So they did add one that is coming up. So if you click on there and it gives you all the information about power up, you go through a survey so that you understand the commitment that you need to make, because it is a huge commitment to get into power up, but you will reap the rewards if you do it. And then here's all, like I said, tips and tools for results. All of the things we've gone through each week in our office slides are 5-minute tools for the week. So they're all up there. If you want to go revisit any of them, you can go there. All of the resources are there. There's a little video from Christina on there as an overview, so you have that all. But what I want to go over today is the NTN, okay? Because I know we're doing way more rentals than we have in the past, I feel. And we also, we also have a lot of questions in regards to it. So for instance, the criminal background check. You remember you used to do an NTN and you automatically get the criminal background check. That's no longer. The state of New Jersey has changed that. So until a landlord accepts a tenant, that's when then you can ask for that to come in. Okay, so there's different things. So again, I'm going to hand this out. You can go in there. All these resources that I'm sharing with you and a video are on this tab. Okay, so that's an overview of this is what sales associates. Can I share the NTN decision report with landlords or an agent and or prospective tenants? How does NTN decision help with fair housing compliance? How does NTN decision report use the applicant's credit report? Okay, so all the questions that you probably had over. Here's the one. I have a lot.
It's different.
There's a new authorization form. Okay, this is important. Credit report authorization for renters. I authorize Wyckoff Realtors to transmit our credit report along with other required paperwork and applications to the landlord and or listing agent for consideration in accepting my rental application. So this is the disclosure saying they're allowing you to pass forth their information to the landlord and the listing agent. Okay?
This is found on forms?
Yes.
Okay.
But again, I just wanted you to see it. And then lastly, this is just something, it's in the email I sent to you guys when you call me on the weekend and say, can you send me the link? There's 2 attachments on that link, right? Or on that email. The first one is a form that you have to fill out and email to NTN so they know who your client is and that who they're supposed to send that report to. Okay, that's the first one. And the second one is this, just a glossary overview of how to read the report and what things mean. Okay, so here's just something again. All of these resources are on the site
I love dittos.
right here.
Where to find everything.
Can you repeat the report that about the link again? There's a link anywhere in here.
Yes, the link is on here. Yep. But you still need to take the link. I think it's on the first page. Yes, it's highlighted in yellow, I believe. Right here. So this is the secure link highlighted in yellow. But if you ever need it, So what I was saying is every time someone says, I need to do an NTN, I never did an NTN before, what do I need to do? Where's the link? Blah, blah, blah. Remember something. That link is unique to the brokerage, meaning if it's your tenant, you don't want Coldwell Banker's link to send to your clients because then that report is going to a Coldwell Banker's agent, right? You don't want that. It has to come from you if you're representing the tenant. So the link is on that page. It's highlighted in yellow. Yes. But if you want me to send you a quick link, because even if I send it to you today in an email, you still think like I don't have the link, right? So if you want me to send the link,
If we're representing the landlord, we don't use this.
no, you don't. It's only for tenants.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Missy, I have a question.
If your landlord, 1 second, Lanny, I'm sorry. If your landlord is requesting an NTN, then you put it in the MLS and then the tenant's agents are responsible for getting you over all that information. Yes, Lan?
Okay, so the link you send the link to the applicant, right? How who sends the next link to the co-applicant, the wife, let's say?
You should send it to both applicants.
It does it online.
Oh, it does it
It says,
online,
like-
Dante
like-
said.
Like fill in co-applicant or send this to, enter the co-applicant's email. and then
Oh,
it'll
okay.
send.
So what Dante says, you send it to the applicant. When they click on and they says, is there a co-applicant? Then the applicant's responsible for putting in that person's name and their email address, and then it sends them a link.
It
So then
only
it puts
sends
them
obvious,
together. So this way they're in the same one.
Yes.
right, okay. So
Additional documents are special.
how many times, like if you get rejected, how many times can you do the NTN on the $52?
I do it once,
What do you
and
mean?
then I reuse it.
You can reuse it for up to 3 months, I believe. I believe it says it on this form.
Good for 3 months.
Yeah, it's good for 3 months. And then after 3 months, then they would have to do another one.
So is it $52 for each person?
It
Or-
is, correct,
So it's for the husband and wife, 52 each?
correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
So, yes.
Now, we have a situation with a client. Is it kind of like a pre-approval before we start running around with them? Because there might
Yes,
be
it
red
is.
flags.
Mm-hmm.
Do the NTN before we show them any. And it
Yes,
lasts for
absolutely.
3 months.
I mean, you're supposed to,
That's
so
a
this
really
is,
good idea, exactly.
Because that's, because we, obviously, we're one of those people, we don't, every time we get a rental, we freak out. You have to have, all right, I freak out. You have to have a specific rental we're looking to apply to.
you're supposed to.
You're supposed to.
Because when you're putting in, when their client's putting an application, they ask them for the address of the rental that they're putting in for. So it does, even though then you can use that for other rentals if they don't get that,
Right.
there's multiple offers or whatever the case. But the original one should have it. So what I did, is I've sent this to all my new agents, I've sent that in the past, I have a tenant letter. So basically it's an email saying, thank you for, reaching out to me. I'd love to help you. In order for me to do that, what I need you to do is send me your last 2 pay stubs for your, of your job for income verification. Then it has 3 credit reporting agencies there that they can click on if they don't have one on themselves or in their bank, whatever.
It's free.
Yep, for
Right.
free. And then they can send you a credit report, so then you can see their credit, right? And it tells them that they're responsible for paying the commission, and it goes through some things. So this way, and it has the lease application attached on top.
You send it to us.
That's just.
Yes.
We definitely need that.
So,
Like today.
Yeah, I can do it in 5 seconds. That's that. I can do it on my phone right now. So-
Put it in our little packet there, our hybrid.
But yes, so now if someone sends it back to you, obviously they're motivated and ready to go. If they don't send it back to you, or they say, well, no one else asked me to, do it, well, then next, goodbye, you don't want to be bothered. That's how you do it. So that's what I always recommend, especially for new agents. That's why they always get that when they come on, because they will waste their time spinning wheels, chasing every renter that comes, because they don't realize that their time will be wasted. So if someone's willing to do it, yes. So now you have all this stuff, you're taking them out, and now on the house that they love, it says NTN report required. Now they're gonna have to get an NTN. Okay, even though you already, that's why you just get a free credit report for the beginning, just for your purposes, to make sure it's not 550 and that you're gonna be running around with somebody.
We already kind of know that this person, due to COVID circumstances, did not have a very good credit score.
Mhm.
But he has his brother-in-law or cousin who is willing to co-sign for him, do we have to have the cousin do this preliminary stuff simultaneously?
I would.
Okay, that's fine. I just
Again.
wanted to make sure I'm not,
Because they're saying that, right? And then all of a sudden it comes down to putting an offer and their cousin's nowhere to be found, and now you've wasted your time, yeah.
Also, I think the
Was that if the cousin gonna be responsible if he doesn't pay?
supposedly he would be co-signing for them.
He's a co-signer.
He's a co-signer, he's not gonna be living there.
the only other thing about this, using it for like a pre-approval, is that it asks for the rent. You don't know what the.
That's the other thing too, yeah.
Unless you want to ballpark it, like, I'm willing to spend 3,000, and then you put 3,000 in, proof for that, then that's fine, but,
Yeah, yeah. So this gives you all the information.
and it says.
Guys, this is really helpful. So keep this somewhere handy because you're gonna need this when the time comes. And again, I have an email. So I have two emails. I have my tenant letter email that I just described to you with the lease application attached and a little letter. And then I have one for NTN. The NTN has a secure link on it that you copy and paste and you send it to your clients. And then on top of it, it has two attachments. The first one has to be filled out by you, send to NTN as it says, and then they will send you the email, the the NTN report when it's done. If your person does not qualify based on the information, then you get also a letter. What is that letter called? I know there's a name for the letter. It tells you here, but there's a letter that they get that says a non-conditional approval. So if they either get a conditional approval, a supplemental application, or a withdrawal letter, that letter is for you to just send to get to your clients. You're not supposed to explain why they didn't get it. You don't know why. That's why they supply a letter based on their credit or too much credit or not enough credit or whatever the reason is that they're denying it for, okay?
Is there ever a time you would send that to the landlord? Like if the letter validates, I don't know how to say it.
Well, if you're representing the tenant, why would you want to send that letter to the landlord?
On the fence about accepting.
No, I think it's just I think it's a secure, a personal letter for that
Right.
person, yes. Yeah. Which again, now we have a permission letter just saying we can even share that information with them,
Yeah, that's-
okay?
Yeah, okay.
Because we assume they're allowing us to, because that's how they're gonna be vetted out, but someone gets mad at you or something happens, they know the neighbor's daughter and the neighbor and the landlord said, oh, we didn't take them because of their credit or this or that, then it's always gonna come back to you, right? You just never know.
Moral of the story is to rent.
Yeah, I know.
Not worth it. And I wouldn't get more.
Send them to.
Okay.
Is it okay to leave the tenant, the NTS to the landlord?
Yes, of course. Oh, yeah. If that's what they're requesting and your clients went on and did it, absolutely.
So then if everything goes fine and then it goes to the landlord and then the landlord does the prison thing and he fails, isn't it when
That's part
everything's
of the
okay?
report.
No, but I thought.
Not anymore, not anymore.
No, they just.
New Jersey changed it, the criminal record background.
Yeah, it's in class. It's in that.
Yeah, it actually tells you on the paper. Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
accept,
That was all inclusive on.
Right.
So they, I think New Jersey changed it.
so now they accept, there's once they accept an applicant, then you can request the criminal
Yes,
background check?
yes, then you can.
Okay,
Yep,
all right.
yep. So it can't go to everybody.
Interesting.
It can't go to everybody.
Okay.
Huh?
Don't do, no, I won't do. it.
No, not additional fee. National Tenant Network.
This is getting pissed off after.
I'm not pissed off at it.
I can see your face. When am I getting rid of these fucking people?
I didn't say this time.
31 years.
The previous places they rented, they were.
No, it says organization that vets out, it's who supplies this report.
I see them paying rent.
Yeah,
That's what they said.
yeah. Well, here, it explains it all on here. It explains it all on here.
It's like Equifax for.
No, nothing to do with criminal. No, it's just a report that they provide. It's extra as a criminal report. Something like, Correct. It's not giving you the credit report, right? It's just like, it's just like, it's on that thing, it's just a overview of what
But
they paid or.
It does check their
It
credit.
does do.
It does, but it doesn't send you, no, it does do a credit, yeah, but it
Oh, I
doesn't
know.
send you the credit report,
Right,
yes.
right.
Missy. Like, if you. Now,
Missy, now, I'm getting pissed off
Missy.
too.
Missy.
Well, we are.
I am.
Missy.
Don't piss off the kid.
I might break the water main. or something.
Oh, my God.
Are you about that?
Yeah.
The state of emergency. Schools are closed. There's no water. Yeah, shit show. What a nightmare.
The money. You only have.
Missy.
Please, you're getting your dollar back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Missy.
Yeah.
Missy.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, getting back to the NTN. So the tenant has to go to all three of the credit agencies and ask for a credit report?
No. No, that was when you're just meeting a tenant for the first time. And then you want them to provide you with a credit report, just so you know that you're vetting them out before you start taking them to houses.
Okay,
Credit
so
report
in
and
other
NTN are
words,
two separate things. Don't mix them up. Either a landlord wants it to NTN or a landlord wants a credit report. They don't want both.
so
So they're two totally separate things.
okay, so the NTN people will check the credit?
Yes.
Okay, the tenant doesn't have to do that.
No, not if the landlord's requesting an NTN, the tenant does not have to provide a credit report. No.
Okay.
Okay. So one other thing I want to share with you, because I don't think you realize this, we have these partner discounts here, right?
Oh, jeez. I had a nightmare.
Really?
It was a nightmare. But
Me, Sylvana and I've rented.
a washer and dryer.
I rented.
Oh,
It was a night.
but that's Whirlpool. That has nothing to do with.
It was,
restaurant.
yeah, it was Whirlpool. No, you're right.
Yeah, and they're having a problem right now still with getting things, appliances and stuff. Because we go through a few places for our rentals and everybody has been having trouble in the last few years. But the car service enterprise and national, it's half price.
Wow.
And I'm not, literally, she did it, he did it, I did it.
I've done it.
Everybody here has done
Pretty
it.
good.
I've done it. It was great.
Oh, good.
Everybody who I know who's done the car rental has had a great experience,
Yes.
Good to know.
I go through the.
5 days, I just booked 5 days in Colorado and I got like, I don't know, 5 cars down, right before a minivan. And it's $270 for 5 days.
What?
I went on to RCI and because I have RCI, they couldn't beat that. I went on to Chase and their travel, they couldn't beat that. I went on to everything. I'm telling you, don't. I'm telling you, yeah, no, it's a great service. And I did order from, Whirlpool Inside Pass because we usually order from AJ Madison and we just ordered from Whirlpool or from Inside Pass and we saved a lot of money. That's why we ended up going through there. So again, you'll save a lot of money if you use the services that they have. So just don't forget you have this here. You just click on it. It tells you how to log in. It gives you all the codes. You go in and just, do your due diligence and check.
Right.
It's in there. It's in the email. When you click on there, everything's there. You have everything you need. And then you sign it. So here is what it looks like. There's more. There's a Ford partner recognition vehicle pricing program. So there's a lot of stuff here. I've personally used, and a lot of us have used the car rental, thanks to Savannah, who tried it out last year. Oh, it was Lanny. Okay, Lanny. Thank you, Lan.
I don't even know how to do that.
And then the Whirlpool Inside Pass.
That's nice.
And if it flips over, you do a open.
So
That is.
Yeah.
homes are selling in our community. I'm gonna go through this really quick because we got really, really late. So these are just, are you the voice in your community? Are you the real estate consultant to your friends, family, sphere, and neighbors? And what are your clients hearing about the real estate market? So when I woke up this morning, this is what I read. Housing market crash alert. Mark your calendars for February 28th. Okay. That's what our clients, that's what the public is reading. That's what they're seeing over and over and over again.
right?
Sunday news.
So maybe it is in other parts of the country, but not in New Jersey and not in northern New Jersey. Okay, I talked to earlier about the 100 people that came through a house in Denville this weekend. Yesterday, the woman who has 153B metal, I mean, of course, that was priced very low because it needs a lot of work. She came in with 33 offers. Well, way over. I'm not gonna share it with you, but she did share with me what that got. Yeah, way over.
Yeah.
Everybody is talking, Mara had an offer accepted this weekend, and then someone came in 35,000 over that the next day, and they lost it. So, and that was, and she was worried about the price that her clients had put it on it, right? Who knows if they got more since then? I don't even know. So that's the truth about the housing market right now. If you can sell, if there's a place where you can go, if you're thinking of selling, you want to move on, this is the time to do it. I mean, it has not been a better time, honestly, even in the last 2 years. It's just crazy out there. So this is the actual, I just screenshot because then you know what happens? I can't find it again when I go back. So I just screenshot everything. So here it is just for you guys to go through. And then just some office events and coaching. So tonight is our circle bowling. Please come. We're gonna have a great time. We have a lot of people coming, so it's gonna be a nice night. And we're at Randolph, so we're having a group with Randolph tonight from 5 to 7 at Circle Lanes. They do a beautiful job too. They really do. It's a really nice bowling alley. So looking forward to that. Join us for our live home seller seminar. If you want it so that you could put your information in here, I could just add it to your marketing studio. I did it for Joanne Vickers last week. She said, can you send it to me so I can put my stuff in? So I took my information out and I'm able to add it to your marketing studio. So you have it in there just like that. And you can just add your information on the bottom and then share it. Okay. So anybody who wants it, I'm happy to do that. Save the date for our regional award ceremony is Wednesday, March 29th. So it's on a Wednesday morning. So that will replace our office meeting that week, 9 to 12 at the Birchwood Manor and Jefferson Road. Okay. So that's always a nice time. And then these are some of the trainings we have during the week between
Are most of the office meetings in our area at 10 a.m. on Wednesday?
Tuesday or Wednesday.
Can we talk to like the MTSs and tell them not to schedule trainings?
Yes,
during the-
that's what I missed.
Well, because there's people who don't have an office meeting. They had it yesterday.
Well, I'm saying the 2 days, they don't do something between like 9 and 11 on Tuesday and Wednesday.
No, because then they have their coaching in the afternoons, then they can't do anything. So it wouldn't be fair. It wouldn't be fair for those who, maybe they can switch it up if they're doing something simultaneously. That would make sense. If every Wednesday they're doing the same thing, so you're missing something, then I will talk to them about that. But because it's split basically evenly down the middle, it wouldn't be fair not to have things for 2 days just because we have office things. So let me go through. These are all the normal things to go through. And then we have one new listing coming up. It's a new exclusive. Terry Dearness has coming up, 38 East Lake Boulevard in Morristown. I believe it's in Burnham Park.
Oh,
That's a nice, that's a nice area in Morristown. So,
thank you.
Morris Township. So again, that's coming on. She was going to be here this morning. She had to run to her listing. And then here's our active listings right here. So again, take a look at these, reach out to the agents.
13 Shore Road, he is offering seller financing.
Mhm.
And if anybody wants open houses there this weekend, let me know. Saturday and Sunday is available.
Yes,
Why is it, why?
so we have a lot of things here. Anybody else have anything new coming on the market?
It needs screw.
where's-
Priscilla?
The one that you had on earlier, 37 Hill Street, it's a studio in.
Oh, okay.
So it's 249, and it's coming soon. We're doing 2 open houses. So
Nice.
it's like really cute, updated.
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah.
walk just, great location, like
It's a great
with the train.
It's a good building too.
The one I asked everybody to mark it around.
Yeah.
I asked all the agents here to circle prospect around today.
There's one parking spot.
One parking spot there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great one. That's a
Laundry,
great one.
like 20 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big studio?
It's, I mean, it's a good size studio, I guess, but it's on the top floor, which is nice, so it's not, there's nobody above.
Because most of the studios in that building are in the lower floors, so that's really nice.
249,
Is there a monthly?
Number 18.
HOA is like 200, like a little, over 100, or, yeah.
See, guys,
Love that.
that's a great investment.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy it.
Yay, see that? My talk worked. So if you want more information, obviously you ask Priscilla, or you can go on our company listing tile and you will see it right there. You'll get all the information and you can send it right from there to your clients. If you have any clients interested in it, it makes it very easy. So remember, there are no shortcuts on the road to success. Thank you for coming, and I think that's it. And we'll do Sky Slope today if anybody still needs it. We have Sky Slope. Anyone here for Sky Slope? You're all professionals now?
Is it in advance?
Yeah, which one are you doing today?
Mr. Whatever you guys want. We'll do whatever.
So I have a problem. I don't know if anybody else does, because Betsy and I worked together and I was writing up the contract. And when I add her, you know, as another seller's agent,
Mhm.
it has her Addison address in there in my system. And when I go into, I have to manually go in and change the address to here. And then when I click like enter, it says, it doesn't match up, so it deletes it.